Good morning to everybody. Welcome back again Biochemistry online video lecture class. Here I am presenter Dr. Shubir Kumar Mondol, Assistant Professor Biochemistry Department at the Nakij Medical College and Hospital, Khulna, Bangladesh. Today I am going to discuss about clinical biochemistry. So my topic is today Introduction to Clinical Biochemistry. At first we have to know what is clinical biochemistry. Clinical biochemistry, also known as clinical chemistry or chemical pathology. It is the laboratory service absolutely essential for medical practice or branch of laboratory medicine in which chemical and biochemical methods are applied to the study of various types of human diseases. The results of biochemical investigations carried out in a clinical chemistry lab will help the clinicians to determine the diseases, means diagnosis, and for follow-up of the treatment or recovery from the illness, means prognosis of the disease. Diagnosis and prognosis completely depends upon the clinical investigations and its reports. There are principally three categories or three steps of clinical biochemistry lab. One is pre-analytical stage or pre-analytical level, another one analytical level, and last one is post-analytical level. These three categories contributes the results of clinical biochemistry lab. Now, what are the uses of biochemical test? Biochemical investigations are involved in every branch of clinical medicine. The results of biochemical test may be used in different purposes such as diagnosis and in the monitoring of treatment, screening for diseases or in assessing the prognosis, research into the biochemical basis of disease, and also clinical trials of new drugs. Marketing any drugs, we know there is a clinical trial. Obviously clinical trial is necessary because without clinical trial any drugs or any new drugs can't come out into the marketplace. Biochemical investigations hold the key for the diagnosis and prognosis of diabetes mellitus, jaundice, myocardial infarction, gout, pancreatitis, rickets, cancers, acid-base imbalance, and other several types of or various types of diseases. Successful medical practice is unimaginable without the service of clinical biochemistry laboratory. So, what are the types of laboratory tests? There are over 400 different tests which may be carried out in clinical biochemistry lab. Mainly the biological fluids, means the human body fluids employed in the clinical biochemistry lab include blood, urine, saliva, sputum, feces, tissue and cells, CSF or cerebrospinal fluid, peritoneal fluid, synovial fluid, pleural fluid, stones are commonly employed for carrying out the biochemical tests. Among these, blood is frequently used directly or in the form of plasma or various forms of blood also is frequently used for the investigations in the clinical biochemistry laboratory. Now, there is an important term in this section which is called phlebotomy. Phlebotomy refers to draw blood from a vein, artery and the capillary bed for lab analysis or any types of blood transfusion, and who perform these activities is called phlebotomist. Phlebotomy is the procedure of blood collection, and who maintain this procedure or who is directly involved with this procedure called phlebotomist. The phlebotomy equipments mainly include several types of needles, globes, surgical globes, various types of evacuation collection tube, alcohol wipes, tourniquet, sharp container, requisition form, etc. In blood collection procedure, usually vein is used to collect blood by vein puncture procedure. Usually we always choose vein because vein is superficial and easily available. So vein is always commonly chosen for blood collection. In adults, most vein puncture procedure use arm vein. On arm, one of three arm vein is used. principally median cubital vein, located on the middle. Now cephalic vein or basilic vein located on both sides of arm. Median cubital vein is the best choice. Why median cubital vein is the best choice? Because it has good blood flow than cephalic and basilic vein, which has lower blood flow. However, if vein puncture procedure is unsuccessful in median cubital vein, cephalic or basilica is used. In referred cases also cephalic or basilic vein we can use. There is also another blood which is called arterial blood, is rarely used in special cases as when blood gas analysis, pH, partial pressure of carbon dioxide, partial pressure of oxygen and bicarbonate concentration is required, then we usually perform these types of blood or arterial blood. It is usually performed by physician, not by phlebotomist. There is another option, capillary blood. Capillary blood, when we need small amount of blood, mainly blood grouping, then we always choose capillary blood. Less than 0.2 ml obtained from a finger or thumb tip is less frequently employed. Basically, it is commonly employed or performed during blood grouping. Venous blood is most commonly used for a majority of biochemical investigations. It can be drawn from any prominent vein, usually from a vein on the front of the elbow. There are several types or several sites for performing capillary blood. In case of children, we always choose the toes part. Another option, earlobes in case of newborn baby, and in case of adult, we always choose the fingertips. Fingertips, middle finger, ring finger and small finger in case of capillary blood collection. Now, biochemical investigations can be performed on 4 types of blood specimens, mainly whole blood, plasma, serum and red blood cell. These are the different categories of blood. The selection of the specimen depends on the parameter to be estimated. At first, whole blood. Whole blood usually mixed with an anticoagulant. Whole blood is used for the estimation of hemoglobin, carboxyhemoglobin, pH, glucose, urea, non-protein nitrogenous substances, pyruvate, lactate, ammonia estimations. Determination for glucose estimation, plasma is preferred in recent years. In advanced time or in recent time, plasma is preferred. Whole blood must be analyzed within limited time, within short time or as soon as possible, because over time cells will lysis in whole blood, which will change the concentration of some analytes as potassium, phosphate and lactate dehydrogenase. Some cellular metabolic processes will continue that will alter analytics concentration like glucose and lactate. So, we have to perform whole blood analysis as soon as possible. Now, turn to plasma. Plasma is obtained by centrifuging the whole blood collected with an anticoagulant, is employed for the parameters like fibrinogen estimation, glucose, bicarbonate, chloride, ascorbic acid estimation. Another one is important, most important, serum. In serum preparation, we don't need any anticoagulant, but in case of whole blood plasma, we always need anticoagulant. Serum is the supernatant fluid that can be collected after centrifuging the clotted blood. It is the most frequently used specimen because it is easily available and we don't need any anticoagulant for preparing this serum. So, it is most frequently used in laboratory, in the clinical biochemistry laboratory. The parameters estimated in serum include proteins, creatinine, bilirubin, cholesterol, uric acid, electrolytes, enzymes, several types of enzymes and vitamins. Last one is red blood cell. Red blood cells are employed for the determination of abnormal hemoglobins, glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase, pyruvate kinase, etc. Red blood cells, for preparations of red blood cells, we have to perform or we have to need the help of anticoagulant. But in case of serum preparation, we don't have to need serum anticoagulant because serum always prepared without anticoagulant and so serum is easily available. and there isn't any precautions or there isn't any extra effort is needed. There is a basic difference between plasma and serum, which is most important question in Viva and written exam. So there are several points in case of plasma and serum differentiation, such as in case of plasma we always use anticoagulants are needed for separations, but in case of serum anticoagulants are not needed. Fibrinogen is present in plasma, but in case of serum fibrinogen is absent. That's why we needn't any anticoagulant for making serum. Plasma does not need standing, it could be centrifuged as soon as it has been mixed thoroughly. Serum takes a longer time to prepare. Plasma is derived to the proteins who lack blood cell. Serum is the most preferred part of blood used in checking blood groups and diagnosis of various types of diseases. That's all for today. Thank you for patient sharing. Hope you have enjoyed this session. I'll come back again from this chapter in another day. Till then, happy, stay in a good mood, good health. Thank you.